There are two ways to succeed in corporate America if you want to make a lot of money. Either technical or you're a personality. Also, if you're both, you're unstoppable. I had no interest in studying math or computer science, so I had to build a personality I could leverage as a natural introvert. Not saying I didn't have a personality, I just didn't have one prepped and primed for corporate America. Now I spend most of my days surrounded by CEOs and executives, and it's not as an assistant, it's as like a thought partner. People ask me how, because when I'm on a plane headed to a very executive level dinner, it does feel surreal. But the whole reason it feels surreal is because corporate America is not real. I don't know how many times I can say this. A lot of it is just posturing, smiling, nodding, making people feel good. So obviously, if I'm taking it too seriously, I'm going to freeze. I'm going to get stuck in my head. I wouldn't be able to communicate with these people the way I do. When you realize everybody else is putting on a performance, you do the same. It is so easy to detach and channel your alter ego. I'm one of one, so I was able to very easily create an alter ego and just channel that. But for those of y'all who have trouble tapping into that version of yourself or just creating it, your favorite actress, Olivia Pope, Jessica Pearson, Molly from Insecure. Channel them, channel them, channel them. Corporate world showcased in the media is a lot closer to real life than you think. You guys wonder why I started posting content? Because I was like, this is literally straight out of a movie. Like, I'm walking down Lexington Ave, flanked on both sides by two executives, and I'm in the middle and my heels are just clicking up and down. Like, that's not real. Just remember that. Detach and channel, detach and channel. Channel me if you have to. Heck, that is the cheat code if you're not technical and your personality is your skill.
One of my old jobs, I used to go home every day on my lunch break and cry. I would cry on my way to my house. I would cry in my room, in my bed, to sleep, wake up from my little nap, cry on my way back to work, wipe my tears, and go back to my desk. I always felt like my experience in corporate America was 10 times harder than it was for my counterparts. And it was, and honestly, it still is. All the advice on my page is to help people navigate corporate America, but for this specific video, I want to talk to Black women. And here are 5 pieces of corporate advice for Black women. Number 1, and this is probably going to be the most important, is ask for help. Asking for help doesn't make you weak. Asking for help doesn't make you a bad employee. Your counterparts are over here talking to their line manager, talking about how stressed they are and inundated with their workload. And their line managers are requesting with finance for a whole other person to help that person. You need to speak up and ask for help. The whole weight of the company does not have to rest on your shoulders. Number 2 is don't let your value escape you. I feel like I was always questioning my value in the different companies that I worked for, and I was always giving 250% because I felt like I had to prove that I had some sort of value. Here's the thing. No person of color is getting hired unless they're qualified and have some sort of value. So always remind yourself that you are in that room for a reason. Number 3, and this is seriously the most important, prioritize and maintain your emotional health to prevent becoming emotionless. Y'all don't even want to know how many times I've been told that I have 0 emotion at work. And whereby having no emotion at work isn't necessarily a bad thing, it can easily creep into your personal life. Working in a toxic environment induces a lot of stress and anxiety, and those types of emotions, if suppressed, can lead to you becoming very emotionless. My number 1 advice is if you're in a toxic work environment, leave, but obviously everyone can't just leave a job. So I would say talk to a therapist or talk to your friends and family about what's going on at work. Do not suppress what you are experiencing. And don't let anyone gaslight you into saying it's not that bad, because people always did that to me when I started out in my career. I would talk about how I was being treated and how I always felt like I was being singled out. And people would be like, oh, you're being dramatic. That's probably not true. No, don't let anyone gaslight you, because that also contributes to you becoming emotionless. Number 4, don't silence yourself in fear of making others feel uncomfortable. The older generation who make politically incorrect jokes in corporate America don't care who's uncomfortable. So speak your mind and speak up for yourself. And last but not least, your line manager is a figurehead. You are your own manager. In another video, I talked about not giving my line manager my real career goals and just giving a few goals to still showcase that I'm ambitious. I personally feel like some line managers sabotage people of color. I've had managers tell me I'm not ready for something, and then I talk to one of my mentors who is a Black woman, and they say, that's a lie, you're definitely ready.
Hi, my name is Sahai, and here are some tips / things I've learned so far being a Black woman in corporate America. Number 1, you might feel pressured to do more than your job. You may be a natural overachiever, or you just might be a helper. For the love of everything holy, try your best not to go above and beyond at work. I know it sounds bad, but I promise everybody is not going above and beyond at their job, especially your non-Black counterparts, and you shouldn't either. Number 2, do not bring your full self to work. Your colleagues, your boss, the company you work for, none of them love you unconditionally. The fact that you are Black already counts as a strike against you, and I am being so serious. You do not need to tell them about your weekend activities. And I'm not saying don't be friendly with them, but do not go out of your way to include them in what you do outside of work. Everything can and will be used against you. I think we're on number 4, and this goes along with the last one. Do not have your coworkers, your colleagues, your boss on social media, period. LinkedIn is the only exception. But even with LinkedIn, it can be a little tricky. Go ahead and block them. There's no reason for your boss or anybody you work with to follow you on social media. Your age is not their business. I'll say it again. Your age is not their business. So I am in my mid-20s, early 20s. I'm 24. I'm 24. And I usually work with people who are twice my age, have kids my age. Regardless of the fact that I am qualified to do my job and my work ethic speaks for itself, if you add being the youngest on top of being Black and being the only Black woman in your department, in your team, you might notice you get a lot more disrespect, or you're expected to do things outside of your job description, maybe more menial tasks. And a lot of times if you're younger and you're unmarried and, don't have kids like I don't, they expect you to be the martyr of the team. You start taking on tasks that are not your job because they assume that your time is less valuable than theirs. Next, do not be a doormat. You do not need to pressure yourself to be the always happy, always excited Black woman. I know we internally want to battle the angry Black woman stereotype, but that is not your job. When I first got into corporate, I used to end a lot of my emails with a smiley face just so that I don't seem aggressive or harsh in my responses. Don't do that. It's not necessary. Be pleasant and be professional. But if you go into the workplace and set the standard for you to always be smiley and bubbly, you never have a bad day, that can be a really big downfall for you because they're always going to expect it from you. And the moment that you're not having an amazing day, you're not smiling ear to ear, they will assume something is wrong with you or that you have an attitude.
Whatever you do, if you go into a meeting and someone offers to make coffee, don't stand up and be the person who wants to make that coffee. If you see Uti there is a meeting and you're done with that meeting, do not be the person who's going to get up and pack away those dishes. Why? Because as soon as you start assimilating to the stereotypes that belong to us as women of color in spaces where it is assumed we will take that role, it will be given to you subconsciously. Right? There are some individuals who are very woke and are understanding of the dynamics that we face as people of color in certain spaces. However, they have been conditioned to assume that a Black female is the help. Therefore, if you go into a space and assimilate the role of the help, guess what's going to happen? You are going to be the help. So once now you start getting into bigger spaces where you're wanting to now command attention, run the meeting, run the show, it is going to be a little bit more difficult for you in order to kind of change your perception. Because guess what? Now that when someone's having a coffee, guess what's going to happen? Polly, could you get... No.
How perception is so important for women in the workplace. She talks about how when women are put together in the workplace, they're seen as more competent. She also discusses how it's a spectrum. So on one end, you're not put together, you're not competent. Right in the middle, it's the perfect amount of makeup, you're seen as put together and competent. And then you have the other end of the spectrum where it's too much. I work in finance, and when I got my first Wall Street internship, I remember somebody told me, you do not want to go to work looking too pretty because people will think that you're focused more on your looks than on work. At the time, y'all, I really did not get it. I truly did not understand how the hardest part about working in corporate America is not doing your job, but navigating the politics behind the scenes. I want to add an intersectional lens, y'all. As a Black woman, not only are you judged more harshly, but the consequences are also different. She talks about the importance of mentors and mentorship, but unfortunately in these spaces, it can be very difficult to find a mentor that looks like you. And I'm not saying that mentors that don't look like you can't be great support systems and can't be helpful. Some of my biggest advocates have been white men. But what I will say is you have to take their advice with a grain of salt, because what a white man is able to do and say, how a white man is able to navigate a space is not the reality for a Black woman. Not only am I aware about how I'm perceived in the office, but I'm also aware about how I'm perceived outside of the office. And it's one of the main reasons that I don't have my coworkers on social media. I'm a baddie, y'all, okay? I'm a baddie, and like I'm heavily ingrained in Black culture, and I don't want to have to worry about code switching when I'm in my free time outside of work on my social media. I feel like code switch isn't even the right word because it's not just what you're saying and how you're saying things, but it's also how you're moving about in the world and in the spaces that you take up. There's probably so many people that are like, F it, like, I don't even want to deal with this. And that is your prerogative. Like, I'm not saying that this is fun. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it's something that we have to deal with. But you also have to be aware that your career will be impacted if you don't play the game, okay? You got to play the game. But the most important thing when you play the game is to know the rules. And that's why, like she said, mentorship is so key, because you need somebody that knows the rules, that can explain it to you. And if you can find someone that looks like you, that can really explain it, then you're in luck.
Have you ever wondered why some people survive corporate America and others don't? Some people have a thriving, successful career and others just fall flat. I think it's because the people that survive have honed and cultivated 3 skills that I think you need to know. The first skill is emotional intelligence. You have to manage your own emotions and also understand and manage the emotions of others in terms of how you react. Have you ever met someone in a work setting that can really take you there? You know, they're saying things that, you know, it can really push you to communicate in a way that's not good for you in that setting. Well, when you have honed your emotional intelligence skill, you'll never lose that control in that work environment. You won't give them that power. Skill number 2 is cultivating resilience. Corporate America is a beast. It's wonderful in many aspects, and it is extremely challenging in others. You'll have ups and downs, and you have to be able to bounce back during those down times. Skill number 3 is networking. You have to find meaningful, genuine mentorships, people that can help elevate you, people who can help you grow as a professional, and people who can open doors for you also. So the people that survive in corporate America have honed those 3 skills.
Let's be honest here, burn that damn bridge. No one that has caused you self-doubt, no one that has caused you mental anguish, or caused you to think that you aren't worth anything is going to be instrumental to your future. So burn that bridge, even if it's professional. Now, I've had a partner at a law firm scream at me, and this partner was influential, especially in the city I was in. But you know what? I don't care. I burned that bridge. And by burning a bridge professionally, I mean, I went straight to HR, told them that she yelled at me and that she was disrespectful. And then when I was on my way out, because that was the last straw for me, I made sure to say in my exit interview, name her and the instance, and say that that was the breaking point for me. And of course it got back to her. And of course that bridge is now burned professionally. But you know what? No one who is going to belittle me and make me feel any type of negative way about myself is going to be instrumental to my success in the future at all. So guess what? I got a new job. It's a better job. They didn't even care about my previous job. And it's honestly a testament to the fact that you can burn professional bridges and still survive. This scarcity mindset of not burning any bridge, even the bridges that are attacking you in the workplace, is nonsense. Get rid of that. Let's stand on business, burn the bridge professionally. You have not met all the people who are going to give you your greatest opportunities in the future yet. So keep that in mind.
5 things that I wouldn't do as a Black professional in corporate America. And some of these will apply to, you know, just people of color in general. 1, never speak before you think. What you say is going to be used against you. So please just don't start blurting out stuff before you think about it. 2, don't rely on management and HR to keep notes for you. No, boo-boo. Keep your own notes. Keep a paper trail, as a matter of fact. 3, don't ignore the hidden dress code policy. You will always have to dress the part. Don't fall into that trap. Just because Becky has on thigh-high boots with her suit, right? If you got all the curves, if you like anything like me, you got the curves, just the boom, the bow. Just because she has on the thigh-high boots doesn't mean that you can put them on. Because when you put them on, it's going to take it to a whole nother level. And you might be cute, but you don't want that smoke that comes with it. It's a hater in there somewhere. What am I at? 4, please don't tolerate disrespect. And that includes discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. It is, we don't do that anymore. There are so many times when I just tucked my tail and didn't say anything, didn't report it because I thought that, you know what, this is just part of the game. No. And then, last but not least, number 5, never let performance reviews or bad managers make you feel incompetent. Don't let that stuff get to you, because some of them are just using it to start messing with your mental, to keep you down here when you should really be up here.